it's easy to place blame on, well, that relationship did this to me, or this experience did this to me. And it was like, wait a second, in that moment, there's the whole filming of the show was like, I'm putting these barriers on myself. And it's up to me to break through those.
Today, I'm here with the talented Celine. She's a professional dancer, choreographer. She's worked with the Brooklyn Nets dance team, and she is one of the stars on Netflix's series Dance 100. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for taking the time out to chat with me. So, for those who don't know, you were on the show. You made it to the semifinals. In what ways did your dance journey help prepare you for the show?
So my most recent experience before the show was being the captain of the Brooklyn Nets dance team and having the opportunity to choreograph on huge casts in front of, for an audience of 18,000 people. And so I was already up for that challenge. And on top of that, being a dancer on the team, I also had to incorporate myself into the choreography too. So it was like almost like this competition was made for me. I was like, oh, I'm already doing this on the daily. And even before the Brooklyn Nets, I went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, where I took student choreography classes. And so I really honed my skills of choreographing there. And before that, I was putting on shows for my family and, doing my training in my local dance studio. So it was almost like I trained my whole life for that moment.
In one of the episodes, you spoke on freeing yourself from self limitations. What were some of the self limitations you felt you placed on yourself?
I think for sure, if I could be super transparent, having been in a lot of toxic relationships or a couple, honestly, early on in life, I was so young, but still, I had to dim my light. I chose to dim my light, or I allowed my partner to let me dim my light. And so in that, you have all of these wounds, all of these abandonment wounds that you're trying to heal, or you are in the process of healing, you're on your healing journey. And I'm in the middle of that healing journey, and then also filming a TV show where I have to be like super out here and super, confident. And not to say I was never confident, but just to say a small part of like what those self limitations were, dimming my light and not having full confidence in who I am. And then also the pressure of having to impress 100 dancers or that were judging me, and them understanding that they not only had to like my choreography, but they had to like me as a person. And it's like, well, Celine, are you even 100% comfortable with who you are as a person? Trials and tribulations that you've been through. So it's easy to place blame on, well, that relationship did this to me, or this experience did this to me. And it was like, wait a second, in that moment, there's the whole filming of the show was like, I'm putting these barriers on myself. And
Yeah.
it's up to me to break through those. So
Mhm. And speaking of, you were going through that healing process, and I just love how you still was like, I'm just gonna go on this show. Watching, we don't see that. We see you vibrant, we see you dropping down, getting your eagle on, like we see you doing hitting all the steps. How did you like balance that, like the challenges, and also like your mental state, and then your creativity?
right. We shot the show in London. It was for 2.5 months, and this was the first time that I was ever homesick. I never really get homesick. And so the mental part of it was really tough. And I'm usually able to compartmentalize and just be like, put my blinders on, but I really had to lean on my tribe. So I will say that it's super important to know who your tribe is, to know who your people are, because without my lifelines, I would have been seriously out there by myself.
What advice would you give to other dancers who, they are in this industry and they probably feel discouraged because, you go to a lot of auditions, you deal with a lot of yes, a lot of no's, you deal with typecasting. So just speak on like how you navigated that and what you would tell others who are navigating as well.
I honestly, again, as cheesy as it sounds, I did not give up. And I knew that whatever was for me was not going to miss me. And I continue to find who I was, and then stay true to who that person is. And not I never tried to mold myself to fit any box or to fit anybody else's vision of me. I just was me. And I'm like, if this is who you want, then you know what I'm saying? This is what you're gonna get. And that's what I would encourage dancers to do, because I feel like dancers want the job, whatever job it is, so badly that they change themselves to fit that versus just being themselves and allowing those opportunities to come to them, and in doing so, I feel like I've really carved my own lane, as everyone should.